Hey, this is a podcast of windsurfing San Francisco Bay. There's a bunch of different stuff in this podcast. Here's a little timeline you're welcome to skip. My name is Brian McDonald. My sail number is USA 314, and I'm a windsurfer. I wanted to talk to you today about racing windsurfers on the San Francisco Bay. This is easy to start, and you're invited to join in the fun. Before talking specifically about San Francisco Bay, let's step back and take a global look at what the wind looks like on Earth during the summer month. This image is from NASA and tells us wind strength all over the globe. Light areas are windy and dark areas are not. If you're a windsurfer who likes to go fast, you'll probably gravitate to the lighter colored areas. The velocities listed on this image are in meters per second. A simple conversion tells us what this means in knots, which is usually what windsurfers talk about in wind speed. An area colored in white indicates the wind velocity is over 27 knots. That's a lot of breeze. The area with the most wind is the Southern Ocean. When sailors attempt a world circumnavigation record, they dive to the Southern Ocean as fast as they can to get solid breeze. This is an area that is always windy and full of danger. San Francisco Bay sailor Paul Caird spoke of surfing monstrous seas over 50 feet tall and gale-force winds. The further south you get, the stronger the wind, but the colder the water gets, with icebergs that can destroy the sturdiest of boats, including boats that were thought to be unsinkable. If you're a windsurfer, though, racing in freezing water is probably not at the top of your list. Another windy spot on this map is the Arabian Sea, surrounded by India, Oman, Yemen, and Somalia. I'm going to have to learn more about the windsurfing there, as it looks pretty darn windy. If we do some simple image processing in Photoshop using the Record Measurement Analysis tool, we can easily select the United States or Europe and record the measurement and learn that the wind is typically less than 10 knots there. If we scan the globe for wider areas, some areas windsurfers are fond to go to include Sydney Harbor in Australia, New Zealand, the Canary Islands off of Africa, Maui in the Hawaiian Islands, the Columbia River Gorge in Oregon, and San Francisco Bay. Let's check out these locations from Google Earth. So let's check out our Sydney Harbor. Sydney Harbor is in Australia. Aussie 18 sail there all the time. Really windy spot. Place of really cool sailing. Let's check out the Canary Islands. Canary Islands is a location for many professional windsurfing stopovers. It's off of Africa. Some absolutely beautiful islands and some terrific wind. In the U.S., we have places like the Hood River, Oregon. Location of this year's U.S. Windsurfing National Championship. Lots of really fast windsurfers excited for us to come up there and race. This is right at the event site. Beautiful place for windsurfing. Hope to see everyone there at this year's National Championship. Let's check out Hukipa, another white spot on that little map from NASA. This is Maui. Tons of pro sailors are here all the time. Great wind, almost 724. Really beautiful location. Very famous location as well. Another place in the United States is San Francisco Bay. Let's go over there. Google Earth is so cool. You can just kind of do a full-on world tour in seconds. So here's San Francisco Bay. Gonna zoom out a little bit. You can see here's Berkeley Marina, here's Treasure Island, here's Alcatraz Island, here's the Golden Gate. So how windy is San Francisco Bay? One of my favorite books on the subject is written by a guy named Kimball Livingston, who's a big guy at the St. Francis Yacht Club, also with Sail Magazine. Kimball wrote a beautiful book called Sailing the Bay. Let's go back to Google Earth, check out the image. Words from Kimball Livingston. San Francisco Bay is the windiest patch of water on the blue planet where people actually like to sail. And it's always been a windy spot. In the dim past, as the ice caps grew and the ocean shrank, the Golden Gate was left behind, a river canyon draining a mountain valley. Even then, the wind fairly ripped through the canyon. Any prehistoric beast that came to drink at the water got a snootful of natural air conditioning. The average surface temperature at the Golden Gate is 56 degrees, not a forgiving environment, and the flow is powerful. From mean lower low water and a surface area of 400 square miles, the bay expands to 460 square miles at mean higher high water, all in about 6 hours. Each ordinary flood tide or ebb tide pushes water through the Golden Gate at a rate of some 5 million cubic feet per second. How much water is that? The Mississippi River, in its highest flood stage in 50 years, topped out at a flow of 1,962,000 cubic feet per second. So a lot of flow on San Francisco Bay through the Golden Gate. On April 25th, the Calcup had a race in the Berkeley Marina. Let's check out right where they raced. If you don't know about the calcup, guys, they're really, really cool. Here's their website. Pull it up right here. They've got a whole tour of a whole schedule of different events. Here's their site, and you can click on these little trophy cups to see the results of different events. Also on this website, it's really cool. The rules for 2009 through 2012 for windsurfing, you can click on and get the rules right here for free. Pretty cool. So let's check out some pictures from the event last Saturday. My good friend John Craig said windsurfers work out the rules in the parking lot, so it's a little bit ironic that we're doing a rules clinic right in the parking lot of the Berkeley Marina. Here's a picture of Jane. Thank you, Jane and Mike, for running the event, and thank you, race committee, people like Paul Kamen who help run the races. So we were talking about the rules before the racing, and we got some cool juniors in the audience, including Jack Lundquist and Marianne Lepere and her little sister, as well as a lot of the normal people. We had a special visitor visiting us this weekend, Andreas Mackey from the Gorge. So that's pretty cool. We're going to go back to Google Earth again and show the actual race course that we were racing on. So here's where we were. I'm going to zoom in to Berkeley. Here's the marina, and then I'm going to get this really cool little program called Magic Pen and draw you exactly where we were. The committee boat was right about here, and then the pin end was right about here. This is the starting line, and then we had a windward mark up here, and then we had kind of a second windward mark. And so the way people were supposed, and then we had a leeward mark. So the way people were supposed to race the cars is they would go upwind, and then, of course, you can't go straight upwind like I'm going, and then you jibe out here, and then you jibe around this other mark, and then you jibe again, and then you had to go around the restricted line, and then sail around the leeward mark, and that was one lap. And these were two lappers. These were 30-minute races in some pretty good breeze. And again, we jibe around, and then you come back, and you miss the boat, and then you go to the leeward mark, and then you'd then finally finish. Now, Here's a rules question. Since we were talking about rules, what do you do if someone doesn't sail the right course?